will want all members of the Zonal Executive Committee that are statutory to please stand up so that we'll do the proper endorsement, because it is the Zonal Executive Committee that hold the tickets. So please, State Chairman, members of the Zonal Executive Committee, please, wherever you are, you follow me to do this endorsement. We want to reaffirm and also adopt the endorsement earlier done by the National Working Committee on behalf of the National Executive Committee and the convention, that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is endorsed to be a sole candidate for 2027 election. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, we are progressing. Madalla mun gode da Allah. Ayi hakuri. Da Allah ga gwamna yana magana, da Allah ya hakuri. Yawwa madalla, madalla, madalla. Thank you. I now have the singular honor to invite the Deputy National Chairman North, Alhaji Ali Bukar Dalori, for his remarks. Alhaji Ali Bukar Dalori should come forward for his remarks. Madalla a saurari jawabin Deputy National Chairman North, Alhaji Ali Bukar Dalori.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. APC! APC! Your Excellency, the National Chairman of our great party, Alhaji Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. Please silent, please silent, please silent, please silent. Please, I can do it my own. Why, please? Silent, silent, silent. Please silent. Please silent. Please silent.
Jama'a da Allah kowa ya zanna. Kowa ya zanna. Kowa ya zanna. Kowa ya zanna. Kai. Kowa ya zanna. Kowa ya zanna kai. Kai. Kowa ya zanna. Kowa ya zanna. Kowa ya zanna. Go and sit down. Go and sit down. Go and sit down. Kowa ya zauna. Kai. Leave him.
Hello there, good evening, and thanks for joining us on Political Lens. I am Chukwuma Okoro. We are broadcasting on Metro SL TV channel 264. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People Television, and on other social media platforms, we are VOP TV Live. You can also join the conversation by calling in or sending WhatsApp messages to the number showing on your screen. The number is 0904-473-2605. Also, feel free to put up your views on the comment section on YouTube and also ask the guests constructive questions if you have any. And I promise you that your voice will be heard. Oh well, the videos you watched were footages of what happened during the Northeast caucus meeting where they endorsed the president and they left out the Vice President Shettima. That's our main topic of discussion today. And well, let's get into it. Commotion erupted during a meeting of All Progressives Congress stakeholders from the Northeast on Sunday, that's yesterday, following an incident involving Comrade Mustafa Salihu, the party's national vice chairman for the region, and national chairman Abdullahi Ganduje, when it caused an uproar when they endorsed President Bola Tinubu for a second term, but failed to acknowledge Vice President Kashim Shettima during their speeches. While the meeting held in Gombe State was attended by nearly all APC ministers, lawmakers, and governors from the Northeast. The party's national chairman, Abdullahi Ganduje, also led the delegation of key figures to the event. When Salihu took the podium, he openly supported Tinubu to run unopposed in the next election. However, his omission of Shettima's name, a prominent son of Borno State in the Northeast, sparked outrage among attendees. As soon as he concluded his remarks, delegates began shouting insults, with some threatening physical assault, like as we saw in the video, while security personnel had to intervene and escort him out of the venue. In an effort to ease the tension, Deputy National Chairman Buruka Dalori stepped in and offered a joint endorsement of both Tinubu and Shettima for a second term. Despite this attempt at reconciliation, the meeting took another turn when National Chairman Ganduje, during his roughly 10-minute address, also endorsed Tinubu without mentioning Shettima's name. His speech further aggravated the situation, prompting security operatives to escort him out as well. Well, the event ended up abruptly amid lingering tensions. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress APC Kano State spokesperson Ahmed Arowa has dismissed claims that the party's national chairman, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, was protested against for failing to mention Vice President Kashim Shettima's name during the recent Northeast Zonal meeting in Gombe. Arowa said the omission was neither a crime nor unusual, pointing out that similar instances had occurred at the APC National Convention as well as during endorsements by Senate and House of Representatives, where Shettima's name was not mentioned without drawing backlash. A video that went viral on Sunday showed security personnel managing a crowd as Ganduje was leaving the event. Some interpreted the scene as a protest by APC members upset that Shettima, an indigenous of the region, was not acknowledged during the endorsement of President Tinubu's 2027 re-election bid. While Arowa insisted the incident was misinterpreted, adding, there was no booing or protest against Ganduje. As a senior party official, he was simply escorted to his car. That's all. He also dismissed suggestions of any plan to drop Shettima from the 2027 ticket. When the party chairman is exactly what the party chairman said is exactly what was said at the APC National Convention. There was no mention of Kashim Shettima's name. The Senate reaffirmed its support for Tinubu's candidacy without mentioning Kashim. Likewise, the House of Representatives did the same without mentioning Kashim. So why didn't anyone protest at that time? Well, when the time comes, both Tinubu and Shettima will be confirmed. There has been no official statement suggesting Shettima will be replaced. All of this noise is being stirred up by the Kwakwansia movement in Kano because they see that Kashim is engaging with them politically. The APC has urged members to remain focused on party unity and progress, maintaining that there was nothing out of order during the Gombe meeting. Oh well, I think this is a different story from what happened, but I think the viewer is discerning enough to understand what happened, at the event based on the footage of the footages that we play. Oh well, let's bring in our guests as we are joined virtually by Honorable Pascal Felix Pulevo. Good evening, Honorable Pulevo, and thanks for joining us on Political Lens.
Yeah, good evening, sir. It's my pleasure.
Okay, very well. Good to see you again after a while. Where have you been? What's going on where you are, sir?
Yeah, we are fine. We're actually on the streets and trying to sort out some political issues too, like this one we are talking about now in Taraba.
Okay. What's going on in Taraba?
Taraba is cool and calm. We are fine. We are just not very happy here with the administration in the state, and we are working towards a change for 2027.
Okay, exactly. I can hear some. I can hear some.
Just one person's name.
Okay, I can hear some noise at the background. I can hear some noise at the background, and you sound like you said you are sorting out a political issue. What exactly is going on in Taraba?
No, basically for us in Taraba here, we are having a lot of our people are not happy with the current administration in the state.
Okay.
Yes, some people are raising concerns about developmental issues, infrastructural development that is completely down.
Okay, is it a form of, are you protesting? Because you said you are on the streets. Is there some kind of protest or what that is going on where you are?
Not really protest like that. There are pockets of people on the streets, I was here, we don't blow it into full-fledged protest.
Okay.
But you will find youths. I just left one spot, so I'm walking towards another spot. When we go, I will be able to turn the camera so that you can see some of them.
Okay, exactly the point. Because I'm thinking that in the course of the program, we'll talk about what is going on in the Middle Belt, where exactly you are speaking to us from. Now, let's get into the main topic of discussion. From what you saw, that happened in Jigawa, we played some footages at the endorsement of the president at the Northeast caucus, caucus of the APC somewhere in Jigawa State. Does it look like there's a crack in the wall between the president and his vice, Kashim Shettima? What do you think?
Yes, I think I don't want to call it a face-off per se, but I want to say it is more or less an attempt for survival. Because the first thing for me is that you must first of all have the power before you talk about how to share it. So I think it's trying to play out between the president and his vice is that the president at first is even concerned about how to get the power. So it's not really like as if there is a rift or there is a fight or something. Now, is an issue of the president asking himself this realistic question of, can the Muslim ticket fly easily in 2027? I think that is the question they are trying to answer with some of these things that are happening.
Okay.
But people want to give it a different interpretation. Kashim is fine with Tinubu. They are both fine. They are okay.
Okay, so you think that there's no crack in the wall between them?
They have any problem between the vice president and the president.
Okay, now why I ask the question? All right, go ahead. Land on your thoughts, sir. Land on your thoughts.
So, but it's the fact of trying to get the power. So much so that if something is shutting off, they can be able to understand themselves. They can be able to we need to get this power first, because if he does not balance the ticket well, even if he wants to go Muslim, if he does not balance it in such a way that a particular region can give him substantial votes, at the end of the day, they'll both be out of power. And whether they are in good terms with each other or they have rift, once they are out of power, they've lost the relevance.
Okay. Now, before the Jigawa event, rumor mills had it that the president had consigned vice, to insignificant roles, and that all isn't well between the two. Does the weekend event not expose that cleavage? What happened? Doesn't it expose that cleavage, that people have been talking about, but which you have clearly dismissed that, look, there's nothing wrong between the two of them? So what essentially do you make of what happened? When the president is endorsed and it's a joint ticket, and they don't clearly say Tinubu Shettima ticket, they only mention Tinubu. And before now, like I said, rumor mills had it that, look, that the president is not very comfortable, with the vice president. You can recall that the president has been out of this country for more than 15 times in the past 2 years. And on some occasions, he stayed up to like a month outside the country, and he never transmitted power to the vice president. Doesn't that speak to some kind of trust issue between the two people?
I think it could be there. But I don't want to give so much preeminence on the basis that, one, the position of the vice president, sir, as we all know, and as it is enshrined in the constitution of this country, there are no specific rules defined for the position of the vice president, except those things that the president chooses to relinquish powers to or ask the vice president to do. He has gone out of this country, but I don't think he has stayed so long, like him staying for 50 days, 60 days, as we had it in the past. You know, that will probably warrant transmission of power like that. And especially, most of the trips are not uncertain trips. Now, there is an issue. What happened over the weekend, sir, is we are trying to hit the drum so that we know the content of the drum. So with this thing they have done now, they will not be able to find out what is the intention of the presidency. What is the plan? What is the plan, probably by the cabals around the presidency, about us? Is the rumor we are hearing, is it really baseless, or does it have some substance in it? Are they really planning this? Because once more or less we are testing the microphone to find out what is really going to happen. Now, by virtue of all these tickets, they have not mentioned Kashim. You know, people are beginning to make protests. People are beginning to say this. Sir, we can have it on record now. There are groups in this country that have said they are endorsing Obi, you know, for the presidency. The difference now, or some people have endorsed Atiku for the presidency. The difference between these two is the fact that for Tinubu, he's an incumbent already. He's on the seat and he has a vice president. It's defined. That is the cause of the rancor. For Obi, for Atiku, they are not presently on seat. And so it is going to be Obi.
Honorable Felix, when you say, I want us to rely on the experience of history. Now, does it bother you that this is coming up at a time when people are also saying that, look, when the sitting president was governor of Lagos State, he had 3 deputy governors in 8 years. So is that what he's trying to replay in the presidency? Doesn't it look like the president is someone who can't actually last long with working closely with people? If you recall that when he was governor here, he had 3 deputy governors, and now, within 2 years of his first tenure, we see a vice president who is like taking more like just a ceremonial assignment. Recall that during the Obasanjo administration, Atiku Abubakar had a free reign. He was a very powerful vice president. But we don't see that happen now. So does it speak to the character of the president as someone who is unable to maintain a very strong relationship for a very long time? Does it look like that, sir?
It could have some kind of that kind of connotation.
Okay.
But you know that, for example, Lagos is a microcosm of this country.
Okay.
Nigeria as a state is big, and there are a lot of things, there are a lot of influences, there are a lot of factors that can affect an individual who is the president of the country, from possibly just being ruthless on some issues,
okay,
or just insisting on some personal interests like that. Because, for example, now the president he has to battle with the issue of seeing that he balances the interests of the generality of this country.
Okay.
Which kind of ticket am I going to fly that will appeal to Nigerians? Vis-a-vis the fact that there are a lot of these parts of this country at the moment that are aggrieved. They are aggrieved on so many factors.
Okay.
There are people who are aggrieved on religious basis. There are people who are aggrieved on developmental basis. There are people who are aggrieved based on appointments. Now he is going to be left with the option of, okay, how do I circumvent through these whole processes?
Okay.
These challenges that are on ground. And what is the voting capacity of each of these regions vis-a-vis their grievances? Then what are those things that we can be able to do that can appeal to some of these people? Sir, on a candid ground, Mr. President at the moment is going to look at the northern part of the country. he has two major issues or three that he has to balance out there.
Okay, which is?
Number one, he has to see how he can appease the northern Christians to vote for him come 2027.
Okay.
That is one issue in terms of the ticket. Because if it is still the Muslim ticket, a lot of them may still not be comfortable. He's going to lose a large chunk of the votes.
That's number one.
Secondly, there is insecurity in this middle belt of Nigeria. Look at the massacre that on a near daily basis massacre that is happening in Benue, in Plateau, in some parts of Taraba State. These things are there for him to balance. These things are there for him to face. And the majority of these people that are being massacred are the Christian community. Go check through. The Christian-dominated parts of Taraba are the places where these crises are. The same thing with Plateau. You know, all those kind of things. So they feel it is also an attack on Christians in those areas.
Okay.
Thirdly, the far north, who are most comfortable with the Muslim ticket, who were the proponents of the Muslim ticket, championed by their then prince and proud son, former Governor El-Rufai, you know, are presently aggrieved with issue of appointments. They feel the president is just appointing his kinsmen, people from the southwest. Even funny enough, even the democracy day we had, you know, barely 4 days ago, what were some of the accusations that were coming from the northwest? People were even saying it should be named is Yoruba Day, it's not Democracy Day. That even the national honors, most of the people are interacting with a lot of friends from the northwest. These were some of the issues that were on the table. So now you will find out they are pressurizing. See,
exactly. I'm happy that you brought us to this point. And exactly the question I wanted to ask, does it look like the president is under pressure to drop Kashim Shettima?
He is. The president is under severe pressure. And now he is trying to see, how do I go through these problems? Okay, now
let's examine the implications of Tinubu running without Shettima. What would be the chances of an APC that the vice presidential ticket tears apart in 2027? Let's look at it.
He's going to have issues getting votes from you. That is largely where Kashim is coming from, in this northeast.
Okay.
The Kashim effect is not going to affect all the other states in the northeast. They will do Borno and Yobe for solidarity, which over time, sir, the larger part of the challenge where he's going to have this issue largely, the Borno and Yobe axis, these two governors are in their second term in office.
Okay.
He can have betrayals from them because they will feel they don't give a damn. They are not recontesting.
That's the governors of Jigawa and Borno State, talking about Zulum and
Yobe, Baba, Malabuni.
Okay, Malabuni. Okay.
And they are both in their second term in office. They are not recontesting for governorship in 2027, sir.
Okay.
And so they can feel to hell with them, to hell with him. If he's not doing our bidding, we will not work for him.
Now, Honorable Felix, will it make a difference if the president chooses a Christian northerner to replace Shettima? Exactly when people like El-Rufai are on the other hand, or are on the other flank of the north, kicking, you know, for Tinubu to be shoved out of office. If the president chooses a northern Christian as replacement for Shettima, how is that going to resolve the crisis that is going through at the moment?
Okay, now, it is going to make a great deal of impact on the sense that it is not just going to be focused at the north alone. It has a replicate effect in the south. His opposition members got a large chunk of their votes from the Christian Southerners also, who were aggrieved about the Muslim ticket. He's going to still lose those votes. And he's going to lose continuously the votes of the Christian North. Don't forget, it is 4 years down the line, sir. Those Christian Northerners who just went through and just voted for him for the Muslim ticket in the north, maybe influenced by money and whatsoever, they will see it clearly. Now they will look at the kind of massacre going on, the insecurity, look at the insecurity resurging again back in Borno, and look at those places that have been attacked in Borno are mostly Christian dominated environments. You know, so you will now find out that when this thing goes that way, if for example now he has a Christian northerner as a running mate, the Christian northerners are going, which is going to trickle down to the middle belt. He's going to have substantial vote. He's further going to consolidate the Christian votes from the south, you know, especially the southeast. The large chunk of vote that he lost to the opposition in the southeast and southwest were more or less a protest vote for the Muslim ticket.
Okay. I was coming to the Muslim ticket, and if he chooses a Christian from the north, does it mean that the Muslim ticket failed? And what's the chance of a Muslim Christian ticket will eventually work for him? Now, if we agree that the Muslim ticket has failed the presidency or the president at this moment, let us create a what-if scenario that we have a Peter Obi or another southerner, probably somebody from the PDP, as PDP is looking to give their ticket to a southerner, and the person chooses a Muslim candidate from the north. How will all of that balance up for the APC?
Now, how it's going to balance up is the power of incubacy, sir.
Okay.
Because the truth of the matter, the true reality in the north is that to a large extent, except where they get a lot of betrayal from their governors, because the governors are powerful in the north. They have a lot of influence on the people. So if he gets a lot of betrayal from the northern governors, like what happened to Goodluck, because Goodluck had a large chunk of the northern governors with him in terms of PDP-controlled states then. There was a good number of them, but a lot of them betrayed him. You know, so if APC gets that kind of betrayal, for example, like the incident I just painted, if we get to have a situation whereby the governors of Borno and Yobe say to hell with him, I'm not seeking for a second term, I'm going with my people, and we'll fight through. And if he records that kind of betrayal from these two states, then you see it can affect him. They may now decide to pitch their tent with whoever that will come from PDP or the person that Obi may pick, if he is in the race separately, a person that he will pick from the north. Because he too now will be left with the option of trying to circumvent and get a powerful candidate. Because whoever the PDP may pick eventually, they will also now, they may not even look at Northeast. Both of them may be going to the Northwest. Because if you look at the kind of votes that come out from the Northwest, it's far more than what you are coming to get from the Northeast. And any presidential candidate also look at the fact that Northeast has been ravaged by with the insecurity, people even get scared to come out and vote. There are a lot of places that most of the ballot boxes just return empty when serious elections take place there, except when they rig, then they'll just go and
exactly the point. I was coming to that when you talked about the number of votes that come out from the Northwest and the Northeast. You come from the Northeast, and Borno is in the Northeast, and Borno has been a theater of war. And in 2019 and 2015, even in the midst of all that, we saw Borno, a state that had been run over by insurgents, terrorists, and all of that. Yeah, they were able to post more than 2 million votes. How are they able to do all of that? Does it look like it's is it actually actual voting or is it manipulation? Tell us. You are from that zone. What do you think, sir?
The reality is that the Electoral Act is faulty, and that is what is giving way to these malpractices in our electoral process.
Okay, so more like malpractices. Okay.
Yeah, there are a lot of these underage guys who, when these people want to protest and get some of these large chunk of votes, there are a lot of these underage boys that go in and they vote. Now, where the fault in the Electoral Act is where it is giving options to this card reader. If the Electoral Act recognizes card reader as the sole means of accreditation, Sir, I challenge you and I bet you that the votes you will see that will come out of most of these places that are giving us 2 million votes, 3 million votes will not be even up to 1 million.
Okay. Okay, so clearly there is an issue of manipulation. Now, when you talked about the power of incumbency working for the current president, are you speaking in terms of performance? You know, he outperformed his opponents, or is it as a result of maybe manipulation or what? What does it look like?
It's manipulation. It's not performance. It's manipulation. That's the truth. It's not performance. It's manipulation.
So when you say it's not performance, you don't think this administration has done anything to merit re-election in 2027 if you use their midterm assessment?
No, my midterm assessment of the president, I am not going to score the president completely poor. That I am going to score him at an average that he deserves a re-election, on the basis that the president has taken some major decisions.
Okay.
That rejig and put a lot of things on track. The president is in the center, sir. Okay. We have governors. Sadly enough, politics have started playing out. That is why we're talking about endorsement midway into the administration, which is something that's supposed to come up to the, like, let's say in the 30 years, because now we are trying to put a stop to governance and activate politicking, which is bad for us. Now, the truth of the matter is that at the moment, most of what is playing out is just politics to discredit this administration so that we can think of a replacement.
Honorable, when you talk about the decisions the president has taken, can you like mention 1, 2, 3 of them very quickly so that we can move on?
One major decision that I recognize so much is this local government autonomy that has not been fully implemented, and it is being scuttled down by the governors. Sir, if local government autonomy sees the light of the day today, the kind of massive development and transformation we will experience in this country.
Okay, so you don't think that the president ambushed himself? Rather than going to the National Assembly, he went to the Supreme Court and he stuck somewhere. Does it look like he was intentional in actually giving local government autonomy?
I am telling you, sir, this local government autonomy issue, the president is just he's just being held down by the pressure he's receiving from some of these people.
No, exactly my point. Don't you think he ambushed himself? Rather than going to the National Assembly, he went to the Supreme Court and he got stuck. So let's read his intentionality in all of that. Does it look like the president didn't know that he had to amend that act by going to the National Assembly? Rather, he went to the Supreme Court. And look at where we are now. What does it speak to about his intentions?
You know, the truth of the matter is that this National Assembly, to a large extent, has a serious influence by the governors.
Okay.
Now, it's just me as a governor calling my members of House of Reps or the Senate, or some of them you will now find out that somebody who is in the Senate currently wants to come and contest governor after me.
Okay.
And then the person in House of Reps too wants to go to the Senate later on. And they know I'm the governor, I'm the leader of the party in my state. He has a great deal of influence on who gets tickets and who does not in the party eventually when they come to run through the primaries. So now, when they now come for this voting, they will not, because this is what other presidents in times past who had that intention, this is what they did, and he didn't see the light of the day. So I feel probably the president felt, let me try a different option and see if it will give us the result we are looking for. And now it is back to the National Assembly to show their patriotism. The Supreme Court have declared this. Where is their patriotism now if truly we want this system to run through, if we want to really uphold the Constitution and recognize the local government as a third tier of government?
Okay, now we understand that the president is a master strategist, but it looks like this is one strategy that has failed him. And away from that, can you mention one thing, you know, one decision or one policy direction that the president has taken from start to finish, completed it, and the people are enjoying it, that is paying off for Nigerians? Can you mention just one? We are still looking at performance, you know, midterm performance, review of his midterm performance, and his eligibility for re-election based on his performance. Can you just one?
No, candidly, we can't pinpoint one. We can say, because some of them, it could be that they are in the pipeline. Some of them, it could be that 50% achieved, is 30%, is 70%, you know, and all whatnot.
Okay, but so that said, do you still score him above average and worthy of re-election?
Because the scoring will be on the basis of if you have trust and confidence that he can finish it.
Okay. All right. At
So
least we are just halfway. So he has more time to accomplish anything that he wants to accomplish.
Excellent.
All right. Now let's leave.
Cannot just conclude now.
We
Yes,
are crossing
like-
home. Let's leave politics and talk a bit about insecurity. What's going on in the middle belt part of the country? That's where you are from. What could be the
Sir,
reasons for these senseless and atrocious killings? Do you by any
Sir,
chance know who and what is behind all of this?
Sir, it's a sad situation here. Truly, I tell you, it's a very sad situation. Like, we are allowing politics to take away our humanity. Like, people are losing their sense of humanity. People are losing, like their sense of pity, recognition of human life, dignity of this human life for politics. I can categorically and confidently tell you, sir, large chunk of this massacre are tied to two things. One, politics. Two, people clamoring for dominance. People just want my ethnic affiliation to take over places. We want to just dominate. We want to just be found here. We want to just be found there. We want to take over this from these people. We can take over this. We can. Come on. Sir, today, there are a lot of countries in this world that are dominated by a particular religion, by a particular ethnic group, and we have not recorded 100% peace. They are still in crisis. Most countries that we see, they are torn by insecurity, by terrorist groups and whatsoever. If you go there, you find out they are dominated by a particular religious group. But yet, sectional differences, this religion has there is no religion without sects. Even the traditional African religion, it has so many sects, denominations here and there. So you will find out that even when it is dominated by one particular religion, one denomination will fight the other denomination. So it is not the only pathway for us is this our humanity, which we have lost in most part of this middle belt, in most part of the Northeast. Sadly enough, a lot of people have lost their humanity, and it is sad. You can see people killing. Before now, during crisis, women are spared, children are spared. It's sad that even a pregnant woman gets killed. That is how bad the situation has gone, sir. We don't even care about
Honorable, it's a lot concerning. The communities, what are the response from the communities? Is it that they are helpless and they have surrendered, to what is going on around them? Is it can they put up any form of resistance? Have they tried to and they are overwhelmed and all of that? Because people are asking, how could communities from one to the other, to another, be wiped out, and we have a government, both at the local government, at the local council level, at the state, and at the central level. And these things keep happening year in, year out, and nobody does anything.
Sir, the problem we are having, one of the things that is exacerbating this problem in the northeast and the middle belt is the foundational upbringing we have been having. One thing, there is this moral system of upbringing up north here, sir. Okay. Especially among the Christian community, where a child is being brought up vis-a-vis the Bible. It's just what the Bible have said. It's just what pleases Christ. This. So, and then these senseless people going about this massacre. These are people who have lost their humanity, as I've said earlier. They are not adherents, in as far as I'm concerned, of any religious group. Like they don't have that, moral conscience as it has been preached by any religion. Their own is just to kill for the particular motives they have, either to take over people's lands or to act the script of a particular political sponsor. These are just the things that are in their minds.
Okay, so all right. Now, we understand, you have painted a picture of what the problem is. People are out for land. People are looking for to take away people from the ancestral homes and occupy them, and politics, everything closed around politics. Now, the president has always called on the governors to settle this conflict in their states. Now, is this a matter of conflict? And if it's a conflict, is it between who and who? Like, is it a symmetry one that you have this group is standing on this side, this group is standing on the other side, and they are warring, you know? Like, you understand these people from the other group. Is it a community conflict? Is it land problem? As in land between one community and the other? Or is it a matter of people invading from outside? Because we've been told by the Chief of Defense Staff, who happens to be from Kaduna State, Christopher Musa, who says, look, it is foreigners that are attacking Nigerians. And we have a government that does nothing. Is that a form of conflict that we are looking at? Or is it a conflict of this community A is between two community B? Because the president says, Governor, you have to take decisive political action. What can the governor do in this instance? What kind of conflict will it be in the first place?
With due respect to the Chief of Army Staff, Army Defense Staff, the man from Kaduna.
Yes.
It is just largely what you have been told to come and tell the media. It is not okay. Now we have various security agencies in this country that are supposed to protect the territorial integrity of this country, to ensure that Nigeria is not run down by foreigners and enemies of this country. What is happening to those people? So we have even identified them as foreigners, and yet we are not able to crush them. Does it mean that these people are now more powerful than the Nigerian state? That is not true. We know these people. We are just playing politics with the process.
You see, the issue of politics, because Governor Zulum, Governor Alia of Benue State, the other day said, look, I know politicians and people in government behind this. He didn't mention names. Zulum said as much. Ojus Okalu said as much. The other time, we had a list of 411 people who were sponsoring terrorism. And it was locked up somewhere in Aso Rock. Up until this moment, nobody has been arrested. So, what is the problem? What kind of politics would that be? What kind of politics would that be?
Because Basa, it is not like we are in war or there are conflicts in Northeast or Middle Belt. It is not that kind of situation, sir. It is a situation whereby we are sleeping at home at night, and then some barbaric people will just come over and just hit hard, bring out people from their rooms and just massacre people.
Honorable, who do you think is responsible for this? These people, where are they coming from? Are they residing here in Nigeria? Are they foreigners? What is going on? Who are these people? Do you by any chance know who these people are?
These people are residing here in Nigeria.
They are Nigerians like you and I.
Even if they are foreigners, they were brought by Nigerians to perpetrate their plans.
Okay.
Even if they are foreigners. So more or less they have been brought in by Nigerians, accommodated by Nigerians, protected by Nigerians, because how did they get into this country? Are we also trying to indict our immigration agencies? Are we trying to indict the Department of State Services and all those agencies that are supposed to protect our territorial integrity? And how did these people get into the country?
Okay.
Through which airport?
All right. We are coasting home. When you say that the people are after land, does it look like there's another grand agenda, more like a conspiracy to do something else apart from taking land?
Because these things are twofold. When they go, there are a lot of them who are coming and killing because they want to take over certain fertile lands for agricultural purposes.
Okay.
That is one. For those of them who have agricultural mindset, they are actually, once they come and hit and attack a particular community, it scares away people. People run away and leave the community. And then they pack a lot of their food items. It's always around this period. That is the challenge. It's around this period. This period of planting now, they will come when they hit, when they send you away. Now, most of the things that have been planted have reached maturity stage. Okay. Then you now abandon your things and run away. Then it gets to harvest time, then they'll harvest your things.
Okay, so it's more like a seasonal thing. It's a seasonal conflict, And
at some point, it's not even a conflict. Me, I don't like this thing being called a conflict, because if it is conflict, Mr.
You know the parties to the conflict, right? Okay, if it's a conflict, you know the parties to the conflict.
That is it. It's excellent. So
but in this case, you know one party and you don't know the other, and it's difficult for intelligence to unravel who the other people are in all of this.
That is why I don't subscribe to it being called a conflict.
Okay.
Because it's not.
No, I was merely using the president's language. He said it's a conflict and called on the governor to take decisive police action. Now, does it look like the president is dodging responsibility when he buck passes to the governors, when he clearly understands that he's in charge of central security apparatus?
That is actually the point I was just trying to mention. He is dodging away because these same governors who come out always on media, is that not what Caleb Mufwan told us in Jos? You know, they will tell you that they are incapacitated, that they are not the ones commanding the security agencies to a large extent, that these security agencies are receiving instruction from Abuja. If this is the situation, if this is the public indictment the governors have made on you, Mr. President, then what is stopping the president from giving this marching order? Let us hear that the president have given the marching order, right? And then the security agents have not done it. But you don't push it to the governors who will later now come and claim to us that they are incapacitated and they cannot be able to do this thing because these guys are receiving instruction from Abuja.
Okay, all right. Now, Honorable, we are out of time. Before we leave, I'd like for us to go back to the issue of the president and his vice. Now, in all that is happening, does it look to you like there might be an implosion within the APC ahead of 2027 with all these defections and people jostling for positions? Promises have been made before now. We have governors who move from one party and become the leader of the party in the state, and people have worked for the past 6-7 years with their ambitions intact, and now another fellow wants to tear all of that. Does it look like there might just be an implosion within the APC before 2020?
There will definitely be implosions in the APC. Number one implosion will come from the Buhari boys.
Okay. What about them? What about them? Are they not happy or what?
They are not happy. They have been sidelined in this administration.
Okay.
They have been swept under the carpet. All the Buhari boys, they are nowhere.
Do they have enough? Do they not have enough weight to cause problem, to cause damage to the APC as a body?
Most of them are the ones holding the structure of the party in the various. They may just not be having preeminence at the national level like that, right? For the president, but when you go to the various local governments,
the grassroots,
excellent, at the grassroots they are still there, and now this guy is not working with them. So many of them are going to instigate a lot of things to betray him. They want to hit back because they are out of relevance at the moment. Even their boss at the top, Mr. President, the former president of the country, you know, he does not have that serious influence of, you know, he's just quiet. He has not been doing. He has not been saying anything. Even in at the party level, have we heard him interfacing with the president, trying to see how we can maybe these aggrieved parties? No. So most of these people, the people that are going to explode, the second category that will explode and cause problem, are those persons that some of them it is crystal clear that they will not get ticket with the present structure that is on ground.
All right. Unfortunately, this is where we have to anchor this conversation. It's been very, very incisive, and I hope we can do this some other time and in the near future. Many thanks to you, Honorable Felix Pascal Pulevo, for coming to Political Lens. We appreciate your presence.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Chukuma. Thank you for your time. It's my pleasure.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Now, on behalf of the backroom staff, Technical Director Olusegun George, the Bus Manager Ikechukwu Ezema, Sound Engineer Samuel, and the sound engineer Paul, and the Angels manager Samuel. I am Chukwuma Okoro. Up next is Issues with Jerry Apollo High. Stay with us and don't go away.